Hello guys, my name is TVI Tornado, and in this quick update video we're going to be discussing Tournament 2 as well as where we are currently in the tournament and its progression. So over the last 2 weeks, Group A, B, C and D, as you can see here, have been battling each other. We can see now that all the games have been finished. Congratulations to the top 2 players who will be advancing into the winners bracket, and congratulations to the bottom 2 who will hopefully get redemption to face the player who wins the tournament overall. So if we look at Group A quickly, we can see Amadoudas and Kezias has gotten first and second place, and we can see Sarah and Wizzy have gotten the bottom 2. They've got 11 points, 9 points and then 5 points equally. However, Sarah managed to win one of her games, whereas Wizzy unfortunately didn't win any of their games. It's interesting to see how Kezias' Ghost and Dragon types are able to get to top 2 by beating the Dark types and the Fairy types that it was threatened by, as well as the Ghost types on Sarah's team. So Amadoudas and Kezias will be advancing to top 2, good luck to those two, and good luck to Sarah and Wizzy to see how they do in the redemption bracket. It's interesting to note that Amadoudas won Tournament 1, and they were also able to come on top of their group with a solid 6 wins with only 1 loss. Group B now, we see myself and Jay Sharona being able to get to the top 2, so we'll be advancing into the winners bracket. Unfortunately for Dashan and Kieran Johnson, they just didn't have what it took to get to the top 2 unfortunately, so they'll be going into the redemption bracket. And it's interesting to see how Grass wasn't able to topple the rock and water types, and it might have been because of this normal type in here that the fighting types took the advantage. Unfortunately as well, Ice didn't do well against this fighting type here and this rock type here, and then it didn't do well with this fighting type here having the psychic types taking care of that. So good luck to myself and Jay Sharona, good luck to Dashan and Kieran Johnson. Points wise it was very close with 9, 8 and 8. I think it just came down to Jay Sharona being able to win 1 extra game, as we can see here with 1 extra loss here with 3 and 4 and 5 here. Group C sees Spidermark and Zeke strive ahead in their group. They'll be advancing to the winners bracket. Unfortunately for Java and Ultra Slow King, they'll be going into the redemption bracket. But it does look pretty close, seeing how there was only 1 point difference to get into the top 2. Maybe it was unfortunate because Flying here is weak to these 2 electric types, and unfortunately for Poison and Rock it didn't fare whatsoever against these fighting types and the steel types. Good luck to Spidermark and Zeke in the winners bracket, and good luck to Java and Ultra Slow King. Maybe you 2 will get redemption. And finally we move on to Group D. Now Group D had a disqualification from Dingity Dong, so unfortunately they will get no points. And in terms of the other top 3, we see Paul and Nico just squeak in a win just ahead of Mosbert with his Psychic and Fairy types, which I thought would do quite well, seeing how there's fighting here and how there was good chemistry in their team. However, Fire must put out the typings, especially with that harsh sunlight being in effect. So good luck to Paul and Nico, and good luck to Mosbert as well. Unfortunately, Dingy Dong is not going to be in tournament, so when we get to the brackets, we'll see that 1 player will advance automatically. So here we have the winners bracket and the redemption arc. These battles will take place over this week, I imagine finishing around Thursday and Friday, which if you stick by for then, there will be an announcement for Tournament 3. Tournament 3 has just about been finalised by the admin, so by the time this video drops there should be at least some information. If not, the information will be all revealed in announcements once we get to the finals. But before we get to the finals, let's just analyse these brackets. So we have the winners brackets up here, and we can see that Amadoudas is facing Nico. Amadoudas had the flying and dark types, and Nico had the fighting and grass types. So type wise it's looking quite interesting. Obviously flying will be able to beat the fighting types and the grass types, and unfortunately dark won't be good against the fighting types that Nico has. So in terms of this matchup, it could go either way, and whichever one of these 2 win it will be facing Spidermark or Jay Sharona. Spidermark has his fire and electric types, which pairs up quite nicely with Jay Sharona's rock and water types. Rock obviously beating flying, but then electric beating water. So again, similar to game 1 over here, we've got another interesting matchup of water being weak to electric, but then rock being strong against flying. So good luck to you 4 over here. Whichever ones will advance will get to face each other here. If we look at the semi-final potential, we can see that Spidermark's electric types actually do quite well against Amadoudas' flying types. We also see the flying types do nice against Nico's grass types, as well as his fighting types. And if we look at Jay Sharona's water and rock types, Nico's grass and fighter types will be super effective against Jay Sharona's rock and water, but rock will have the advantage over Amadoudas' flying types. Going over to the other side of the bracket, we can see myself and Zeke. Now, we did our battle this weekend, so Zeke managed to get the advantage and win 2-0 against me. I won't reveal too much about that match, it will be a YouTube video going up in the upcoming week. However, type-wise, looking at Electric and Steel from Zeke versus my Fighting and Psychic types, I did have an advantage. It was just a case of Zeke getting the advantage over me in both of our games, and they were fairly close. They weren't nail-biting or anything, but we do see Zeke going up against either Paul or Kezias. So with Paul and Kezias, Paul has his fire and normal types, and the fire types will be facing Kezias's dragon and ghost types, which isn't too good because dragon resists fire. However, the ghost types won't be able to touch Paul's normal types, so again we have a very nice interesting bracket where ghost won't do anything to Paul's normal types, but the fire types won't do much to the dragon types that Kezias has. And seeing how they do up against Zeke's electric and steel types, fire is obviously going to be super effective against these steel types, but the dragon and ghost types that Kezias has won't really have an advantage against Zeke. They will, however, be able to resist electric type moves. Moving down to the redemption arc, we can see Sarah has automatically advanced because Dingly Dong was disqualified. I imagine if Dingly Dong was still around, Sarah would have the advantage with her fairy types going into his dark types, as well as the grass types not doing much against her Skeledirge, Pinkerton and Goldengo. And she will be joining Javo, who was able to get a 2-0 win against Kieran Johnson in their game. Looking at Javo and Kieran Johnson's games, Javo had the fighting and flying types, which obviously did a huge amount of damage to the ice types that Kieran Johnson had, as well as the flying types being able to pick up some wins on the fighting types. So unfortunately for Kieran Johnson, both in the group stages and the arcs, he just had a very poor matchup and he just couldn't get the momentum due to the matchups being very poor in his favour. So Sarah and Javo will be facing each other this week, Sarah having her fairy and ghost types and Javo having his flying and fighting types. Type-wise, Sarah should have the advantage with her fairy types being super effective against the fighting types. However, Javo might be able to put some use to his flying types, which could give him the edge in the battles. So good luck to both trainers on that end. Moving on to the other end now, we can see that Dashin unfortunately lost to Ultra Slowking 2-0. Ultra Slowking had his rock and poison types, which managed to do enough damage to Dashin's Pokemon being grass and normal. Grass does have the advantage against the rock types, however normal types don't do much to the rock types, and poison is super effective against the grass types. So Ultra Slowking will be advancing into the semi-finals and he'll be going up against either Mosbert or Wizzy. Wizzy has flying and steel types and Mosbert has psychic and fairy. So in theory, Wizzy should have the advantage because his steel types will beat the fairy types that Mosbert has, as well as still being able to resist the moves from psychic. So if Wizzy was to advance, his steel types would do super effective against the rock types that Ultra Slowking will be bringing, as well as being able to be completely immune to any poison types that come his way. However, if Mosbert is to advance, Mosbert's psychic types will do super effective damage to the poison types, but then again the poison types will do super effective damage to his fairy types. So whichever one advances to Ultra Slowking, it will be a very interesting matchup, and they will be facing either Sarah or Javo. So good luck everyone in the tournament. I'll be taking battle requests from anyone this week so that I can have more content for YouTube. Make sure to vote for your favourite Pokemon out of the Aces as well. Currently we have Glimmora, Meowscarada, Hatterene and Dragapult. We'll continue this table either Tuesday or Wednesday, and we will basically get a finalist by Thursday or Friday, which again is when the Tournament 3 announcement will be. Stay tuned for the Tournament 3 announcement, and until then guys, I've been your host TVR Tornado, and I'll see you in the next video.